What is the price for a backyard quarterback with bad mechanics but a cannon for an arm? I'm talking about none other than Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech. The former 3-star dual-threat quarterback became their starter his freshman season, replacing Davis Webb, who transferred to Cal. By the time he was a junior, he broke the NCAA record for most offensive yards in a single game. The previous record holder was Connor Halliday from Washington State. Versus Oklahoma, Mahomes put on a clinic, throwing for 734 yards, including this beautiful 32-yard fade route touchdown to the corner of the end zone. On the day, he scored 7 total touchdowns, running into himself. In addition to the record-setting performance, he continuously put up eye-popping numbers, finishing the season with over 5,000 passing yards for the second season in a row. The only other quarterback to do this was Case Keenum in the Houston Cougars offense. In the NFL, his best fit is with Bruce Arians in the Arizona Cardinals. They have the 13th pick in the NFL draft. There's a small chance they could pick him there, but more likely I think he'll fall to the end of the first or possibly into the second round. Carson Palmer is at the end of his career, and they need someone to sit behind him to take over as the future starter. As a prospect, Mahomes has many traits that scouts love. He has incredible arm strength measured by his 60-mile-per-hour throwing velocity. He does a great job of improvising inside and outside the pocket, and he has potential to be a star quarterback in the NFL. What keeps him from being a top-caliber player is his decision-making at times, his awful mechanics, and some durability concerns. So what grade would we give Mahomes? We are giving him an early second-round grade, and here's why. As a passer, Mahomes has a quick release and does a great job of delivering the ball from all angles. Texas Tech runs a high number of read-pass options with various spacing concepts that are great for a college offense. Take this play versus Baylor in the second quarter. Before the snap, he has the choice to hand the ball to the running back or throw the quick pass to his wide receiver in the slot. Immediately after getting the snap, without even moving his feet, he semi-sidearms the pass to his receiver perfectly for a quick 11-yard gain. Now, Texas Tech is known for having an extremely simplistic offense without many pro reads, and this type of play works against crappy zone defenses. In the NFL, the talent disparity is much smaller, and defenses are far more aggressive, so you can't run this type of offense. Now, he does a great job of completing a high percentage of these passes accurately. Where he struggles is his inconsistent deep ball placement, like in this deep throw in the Oklahoma game in the second quarter. He places the pass behind his receiver, who is the closest defender beat by 3 yards. A lot of this comes down to his mechanics and footwork, as this play illustrates that perfectly. After the play action, he plants his feet, waiting for his receiver to break. Slowing down the throw, he holds the ball near his numbers, which is too low. This elongates his entire throwing motion. Then he overstrides, taking a large baseball pitcher step forward while keeping his weight on his back foot, all while locking out his front leg. This is what causes deep passes to be too high and fall too short. Honestly, this is textbook how not to throw a deep pass, and he shows these mechanics way too frequently. In addition to having poor planted foot mechanics, he throws a high number of passes while on the move, even in the pocket when he doesn't have to. Against West Virginia at the start of the third quarter, Mahomes has a clean pocket facing a 3-man rush. Having plenty of time to see the entire field, Mahomes sees his receiver sit between zones over the middle of the defense. The wide receiver is wide open. Instead of shuffling his feet, taking hitch and gather steps to set up the pass, Mahomes runs forward and throws on the run to his receiver. Even though the pass was actually nicely thrown, this is not how you should deliver a pass in the NFL, as windows like this won't ever be this wide open. Another example of this can be seen versus Oklahoma in the first quarter. After sensing the pressure from the left edge, Mahomes stepped up, took 2 gather steps forward, and then hot passed the ball deep down the field, overthrowing his wide open receiver. Even though he has made some incredible throws with this motion, the issue is that this motion is not ever going to be consistent, nor will it be repeatable. Even when he gets some of them right, teams will definitely want to change that. In terms of arm strength, he has a cannon, and he can deliver passes with velocity all over the field. Here's an example versus Baylor in the middle of the third quarter. Mahomes from the shotgun steps up into the pocket and delivers a bullet over the middle of the field for a 40-yard gain on this post route. When throwing drive throws where he steps into the throw, shifting his weight forward, he actually looked like a legit NFL quarterback. Mahomes actually does a really good job of sensing pressure and stepping up into the pocket to avoid the rush. While he didn't have to do that on a routine basis in Texas Tech's spread offense, he definitely flashed that, like in this play in the same Baylor match. After the snap, Mahomes takes a 3-step drop from shotgun, gaining around 10 yards of depth behind the line of scrimmage. Typically, there's a sweet spot between about 7 to 9 yards on a 3-step shotgun drop, but Mahomes exaggerates his final step, jumping to gain extra depth. Now, this is not recommended for a couple of reasons. The first is that there's a high chance of tripping with this motion. That one is obvious, but the second and more important reason is that this causes overdropping, which allows pass rushers to get around the edge at a flatter pursuit angle. This does not let your offensive linemen to get in the position they need to block them. Now, Mahomes did step up immediately afterwards, but it's another one of those things he needs to fix. Taking 2 quick hitch and gather steps, Mahomes shuffles forward and finds his target running a hitch route on the sideline. He places the pass slightly high, which the wide receiver jumps to bring it in. Turning before he has it fully secured, number 8 drops the pass on what would have been a 7-yard gain. In this play, Mahomes shows plus pocket awareness and movement to set up the throw, and flashed that throughout the season, instantly sensing pressure from the middle and the edge. When studying his film, something that consistently stood out to me is his natural ability to improvise and create plays. He is the ultimate backyard quarterback. What I mean by that is that given time, he'll use his legs to create big plays down the field. Versus West Virginia in the middle of the second quarter, the Mountaineers send a 3-man rush, allowing Mahomes plenty of time to read the field. Now he can easily go to his running back, number 23, after he releases from the backfield, but he uses the time his blockers give him to secure a much larger play down the field. As a quarterback, there is a delicate balance between improvisation and simply holding onto the ball too long. In the last play, this improvisation created a huge play. However, in the NFL where there are faster defenders, many of these plays will have a higher chance of taking a turn for the worst. This is especially true when he takes a Michael Vick Madden 2004 type scramble, dropping 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, like in this play versus West Virginia. At a certain point, you need to take your exit strategy and just get rid of the ball. In my opinion, with the defender bearing down on him in space, the only wise move is to throw the ball away. I get that Texas Tech is down by 24 with just over 12 minutes left in the game, and Mahomes feels like he needs to make a play, but this is not a smart place to hold onto the football. Here's another example versus TCU in the fourth quarter. He holds onto the ball too long and gets sacked, not releasing to his check down in the flat like he should have on first down. In terms of decision making to throw the ball down the field, Mahomes will go through swings on a play-by-play basis. At times he plays very intelligently within the bounds of the pocket while going through his reads. Then all of a sudden, a light switch will flip and he'll throw a deep pass into double or triple coverage. In this play versus Oklahoma, his wide receiver is double covered with the underneath defender sticking to his hip pocket, but Mahomes lobs the pass to him right before he gets hit. Why he made this throw is beyond me, and he's extremely lucky this wasn't a pick six. Another example of that can be seen early in the West Virginia match. On 3rd and long in the middle of the first quarter, Mahomes launches the pass while on the run completely across his body into quadruple coverage. Ironically, the pass was almost completed, but his receiver dropped the football. While that may be the case, you never want to see this type of throw. If the dropping linebacker understood how to play the ball in the air marginally better, this is an easy interception. The Red Raiders are only down by 7 in the beginning of the game, so there's absolutely no reason ever to throw this pass. Something else that kind of worries me too is how he takes contact. He does a good job of sliding when he scrambles, but as a thrower he tends to contract and rush his delivery like in this play versus Oklahoma. Since he doesn't step up into the throw, he places the pass too far in front of his receiver. This trait kind of worries me as an evaluator, since in the pocket you have to be able to stand tall knowing you will get hit. I really hope I'm reading too much into this trait though. From a pro comparison standpoint, Mahomes is most similar to Jay Cutler in my opinion. Both quarterbacks have good arm strength and a snappy release to get the ball down the field. Both possess a gunslinger mentality like in this play versus West Virginia, who are always willing to launch the ball down the field even when it's ill-advised into double coverage. Both also need a lot of mechanical refinement coming out of school. An interesting comparison to Aaron Rodgers can be made based on Mahomes' natural ability to improvise. Beyond the single trait and relative size, I just don't think Mahomes has the same poise and downfield accuracy that Rodgers possessed even in college. Overall, you are getting a raw prospect who is a gamer and loves extending plays to create big opportunities down the field, like in this play versus Oklahoma in the second quarter. He flashes that ability on tape, but unless he's extremely coachable, there's a high percentage chance that he'll fail, never developing within the confines of a structured NFL offense. One last thing we haven't spoken about yet is his injury history. During his time at Texas Tech, he sprained his left knee, had multiple shoulder injuries including an AC joint sprain in his right shoulder, and he injured his left wrist, which required surgery. Now he's a tough quarterback who is willing to play through them, but the type and frequency is something to keep an eye on. Well, that's all I have for you. If you like this video and you want to support the channel, feel free to follow the links to my PayPal and my Patreon accounts. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at SamuelGold.